So excited to have you.
Uh-oh.
Trainers.
Say hi, Miss Elaine.
So today we are. I look like.
Oh, are you leading this?
Oh my gosh.
Well, I look like. Nope.
Nope.
That's just our tool.
Well, first off,
I want you to go away, Tyke, because we've got a few questions that we want to find out about the whole O'Hearn family.
Mhm.
We know about you guys as bodybuilders and Mike, a movie star. I'm gonna we'd like to ask Titan a few things while we have him, and ask Mona a few things, and just kind of talk about family a little bit.
can I say something just before we get going
You can do
down
the whole show.
down the Q&A route? I have known you since I was a teenager, a young teenager, and you guys, just so for everybody that's here that understands, not just your main course, your fans, but mine as well, is there are incredible promoters for the NPC and IFBB, and I would have to say, from me talking to Jim Mannion so much, you guys, you and your amazing tower of a husband are some of the best promoters the bodybuilding world has ever seen. And from me to you, thank you, but also thank you for giving me a platform, giving that kid a platform. And this is for me, mid 80s, and now to be in 2025 and have a movie in the theaters, and still, because of the dedication, the discipline, the commitment that bodybuilding makes you have, I'm still here in the grind and loving what I'm doing and enjoying my life. And my life has been a vacation of hard work, and I absolutely love it.
Well, thank you so much.
And it's all because of you.
We could just end the show right now. I'm just teasing.
But you guys are amazing.
Thank you so much. For everybody that is fans of Mike too, that don't know, we met Mike back when he was a football player, a star football player in high school over at Juanita High School. He walked into our gym. Brad and I had a gym, and he walked into our gym, and literally Brad and I were like, "Oh my goodness, he's the next Arnold." Like you looked amazing. You still do, and it's been so exciting to be able to follow your whole career and watch just everything that you've accomplished and your dedication. And that was kind of one of the things that I'll get into a little bit more about what it takes to be a champion bodybuilder and what it takes to be a movie star. You've been able to accomplish all of these dreams, and those are kind of a few things that I want to go on to while we have Titan. I don't know how long we'll have Titan, because I know when I was a kid, my attention span was not very good, and I would be there for a few minutes, but then it's like, okay, I'm bored.
You are correct on Titan. Go for it. If you want to start this out, and we'll let Titan do his thing. Hey, do you mind answering a couple of questions for the
Yeah,
fans?
I'm gonna have to repeat the questions, but yeah.
We're ready.
Whatever you got, bring it on.
Titan. We want to see your face. Look at you. How old are you now?
6.
Tell everyone how old you are.
6.
6. Oh my goodness. I remember when your mom and dad put you on stage at the Emerald Cup when you were just born. And look at you now. You're 6 years old.
He's a big boy.
And I will say, mighty handsome too. I'm sure that your mom is fighting the girls off now too. No one's coming after my boy yet. You're gonna have to go through me.
I don't know.
Are you still in jiu-jitsu? He's still
Cool. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
What do you do? Jiu-jitsu, and what else you do?
Wrestling.
Wrestling.
Baseball.
I saw that. So you're getting pretty strong. strong yourself. And you've got one more.
Or baseball, baseball.
Baseball, baseball, baseball.
Are you
Yeah.
baseball?
Oh, yeah.
What?
I see that. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Say thank you.
Thank you very much.
Which one is your favorite, Titan? If you had to pick, which one's your favorite?
That's mine.
Wrestling.
Wrestling? Oh my
Mhm.
gosh.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That old school Washington State.
Instagram page, and I saw your wrestling, saw your jujitsu. I've been following you along the way here, and you have been amazing. All of the progress you've made and all the accomplishments. And I have to tell you, I love that last video that you have on Instagram. It talks about when you lost to your opponent, things that you are learning now. Do you want
It's
to
about
tell
you.
everybody something that you learned when you lost to that opponent?
Did
Can you
you
talk
learn?
about that? Talk about what happened when you lost. What did that do to you? And what did you learn?
I'm ready to be strong.
You want to be stronger?
Yeah. You learned to be strong.
You don't want to lose again, huh? What else did you
got
learn?
that bodybuilding spirit.
Oh, yes, I do, because I'm pretty strong, right? I'm strong and I'm 6.
I'm strong and I'm 6.
And you're only going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. Exactly. And I love it that you were able
Oh, yes.
you lost gracefully. There was no tantrums or anything.
No,
You
he,
just bowed.
yeah, he took it so well. Yeah, he was.
Well, there
happy.
was definitely no tantrums from him.
There's tantrums from him.
Are you say? Yes.
Yeah.
But he is loving it, and yeah, I think
he had fun.
I think for all parents out there, and what I said earlier about bodybuilding, what it does for you, martial arts, tenfold. You know, it's discipline, respect, which I think is such an epic thing for kids in today's world. Failure, I think, not being good at something and learning to overcome that, not being praised and saying you can do better, and the discipline and the simple things of walking behind an individual and respect and bowing. And I think there's such a facet of things that we don't think about that bodybuilding or martial arts or any kind of sport, I believe, especially martial arts, will teach kids some amazing things. And it has the least important is being a badass. You know what I mean? I think the other things are the discipline and just being continuously doing something that's tough is more important than being a badass.
Now, why did you pick jujitsu? There are all different forms of martial arts. What was the reasoning that you guys picked jujitsu?
I think jujitsu is a great concept to not use. I'm trying to do some of the different things that I did as a. You guys knew me as when I was a kid, and I was already a Washington State powerlifting champion by 15. And so I muscled a lot of stuff in wrestling, in judo, in all these things. I used my strength and force over individuals when I should have used more precise techniques and flow and use other people's momentum against themselves. And that's what I want to teach him, because he's going to be, because of this girl, he's going to be bigger and stronger than I ever was. And so if I can teach him skill, and then not to rely on his size and strength, but just the skill that he has, then I don't know what his options are, but at least I'll set him up in a position to where what he chooses, he will be able to accomplish.
I feel like, yeah, I feel like for me, the most important thing when he did compete was that he actually was able to walk out in front of a crowd, and he even took his shirt off by himself. And to do that, that's confidence. So for me, I love to teach him to be confident no matter what, because the strength will come. We both know he's going to be strong. You know, he's already working out. He's doing stuff.
With both of your genetics, and 6 years old, the way
But yeah, but the confidence you kind of build. You know, you're not born with that. That comes as you go through life, and as you know, when is the time that you're confident? You have people they're not confident until they're like 30. You know,
Right?
and you have people they're so confident, and I want him to be confident and mentally strong. That's my approach to building him from now. And that's what I've been working on.
I love that. And,
Yeah.
and I love that as a mom too. I think what you said is extremely important. Building that confidence and also getting up on stage. I did that with my son when he was 5 years old. The talent show. I had him in karate. I don't have a martial arts background, so I've had him in karate since he was 3 and a half. And so they had a talent show at school. So we put together. I come from a bodybuilding background, so we put together a whole katas to a little movement and used the Rocky music and got him up on stage. He had a 2-minute routine. So as bodybuilders how long a minute is. So he had a 2-minute routine, and right before he went on, he was like, "Mom, I don't want to do this."
Mhm.
And I said, "No, you're doing this because we're all bodybuilders, right? No, you're doing this. You're getting up on stage. You will do this." And Brad, my husband, you guys know him, Brad, who does not like to get on stage, said, "Oh, honey, don't make him do this. Don't make him do this." And I'm like, "Oh, no, he is doing this. We have practiced. He's getting up on stage. He's doing this." He went up on stage. He did 10 regular push-ups. I mean, he did a lot of things, but 10 regular push-ups and then these things called tiger push-ups. And the audience went crazy. And he won. He won his
There you
talent
go.
show.
Yeah.
I
It's amazing,
It
right?
was,
Yeah.
and afterwards he was like, he got off stage, he was like, "Mom, that was so much fun. I
Mhm.
had so much fun." And he just loved it. He was on a high. So I think that what you guys are doing, I love it. But and my son, Brandon, he can get up on a stage, he can get in front of people, he can do that. He chooses not to. He doesn't have he's a little bit between Brad and I. Brad doesn't like
Jeff,
to. I like
do
to.
a tweet.
He's kind of in the center. He'll do it if he has to. So I think you guys, that's awesome. And I'm going to ask Titan. Are you still there? Is Titan still
Oh
there?
yeah, he's still here. He's like
Okay,
all
I
over the
have one
place.
more question for you.
One
Titan.
more question.
One more question.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
Oh.
Have you decided? Have you thought of it?
What do you want to be?
The planes.
Pilot?
A pilot.
A pilot.
Yeah.
He wants to fly planes.
He's obsessed with planes.
Well, I will be a passenger in your plane because I love to fly. My dad was a pilot, just a small planes pilot. But
Yeah. What are dad flew? Which plane?
Which plane did your dad fly? An a Cessna?
a Cessna.
Yeah.
Which plane's called?
A Cessna.
It's called a Cessna.
They're the smaller ones.
Yeah, yeah.
I will fly in your plane. I will be a passenger.
Come on,
So
Dad.
I love it. And as you go along, things might change.
What?
What? Cessna? Your dad? Number your food.
Whoa, what
Dad.
He
number?
what?
What
Yeah,
number?
He flew planes in the war. He did a lot
He
of
did-
stuff.
he
My
did-
dad did a lot of
He
stuff.
just flew a Cessna TU6.
Well, no, he was a little older than that.
TU6.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was an airplane mechanic. He did a lot of things. He did a lot of things. That's what I'm saying. You may change as you go along. In fact, since we have your dad right here and your mom, let me ask them. What did you want to be when you grew up?
Oh,
you were 6. Did you
um,
know?
I wanted to be a vet.
Ah,
I wanted to be a vet. And then my dad said one day, and I was still very, very young. Yes, I understand dogs and animals and you can take care of them, but you also have to put them to sleep if they're sick. And I said, okay, I'm staying with bodybuilding. No backup plan.
Mommy, what's
I
my
feel you on that one. That's, yeah. I'm an older dog now. I know you've got Striker's getting older too.
that's
Do you have one
what I
or do you have 2?
Which one?
3.
3? Okay, 3. Khaleesi, Striker, and Panda. Wow, yeah.
As a mother, I got to jump back because I know you talked about it and kind of ran over it, but I want the people out there to hear this. You're a very tall individual, and I remember those stages of you when you'd come and do lectures at my high school, and how muscular and everything. But your husband is a monster of a human, and your son is too. They're both tower over. I always look big in the bodybuilding world when I pose next to everybody. And then I go up to Seattle to guest pose, and I have to stand next to Brad, and I'm like, "Oh, you're a tiny human, Mike." So I'm sitting here going back to the day of the talent show. Huge monster Brad going, "Honey, he doesn't need to do it," and you're like, "No, he's doing this." I think that is incredible. It is incredible that there is the yin and yang, the two sides, but both superhero-ish and still pushing their kid to do something. And you guys agreeing on that aspect of it. I just think it's a beautiful thing because again, you guys have had kids, great parents. We're still very new, and we're still I'm especially trying to find my footage on disciplining and how much does a 5-year-old, 6-year-old really comprehend and stuff. So I just think that was great as a parent, how you had him do that.
A pro at this is Carrie. She's had 6.
Right.
She's birthed all 6 of them herself and raised them.
I remember our conversation last time. I was thinking of it right now because I think last time you were talking about when to push them and when to not to back off. We were trying to find that. I remember this, and I honestly think you're doing a great job. I think everything you and Mona said about what you're putting into your son is going to make them badass, right? You say it's more important, all of these qualities versus just a badass. Well, what makes them badass, a true badass, is all of the qualities that you're instilling in your son. The discipline and yes, right? That's the true badass. So hopefully that's okay to stay with him right there. But
no, I think
Yes, mom of 6 kids.
Yeah,
right.
and it's not just 6 kids, but you look amazing. You still push it, and you're such a second level kind of human. And you're doing that, and I agree with you. It's like anybody, the character. Like I love what Mona said about character. That's not something you're born with. You know how everybody in today's world is like. Everybody in today's world is, oh, well, you're a confident person. You don't. You create that. The hard work that you put in creates that. The discipline creates who you are. The showing up every day, those kind of little things. And I think you guys hit it out of the park when you guys all said it's just showing up, continuous doing the work, good or bad. You're still doing the work and pushing it.
Yes, they don't. So, yeah, like everybody says, they don't come with instructions, and I agree with that. And
you're speaking of Mona and women in general, or
yeah.
the okay.
Yeah, we don't
That
come
too.
with instructions either.
Right.
Too. But I think that, and we're gonna go. So I'm gonna go a little bit of background. Carrie and I are Christians, so we come from a Christian way of looking at Christian worldview. And I think God gives us our kids because He knows that we are going to be the best parents for our kids. In general, there's always, like I always say, there's always somebody that's going to break this rule. But in general, for good parents, God gives us our kids because He knows that we see traits in our kids that are in us. And that was going to be a question I was going to ask you, both of you. Do you see traits in Titan where you can go, okay, no, that's not happening because I see with that, or this is real good because I know this of myself too.
Oh yeah.
Is the great traits I see, and it's not something that you would moderately do. It's funny when it comes to health and fitness. I'll always believe 70% is better than the guy that goes 100. Because 70% can be done yearly and 10 years and 20 years. The guy does 100 burns out after a couple of years, and then he's at 0. And I think there's a discipline of her teaching Titan. It's like, all right, clean up. He is, if he's done with something, then he cleans up everything. We're done with the gym. He puts all the weights away. I know this is, well, to most people, it's like, oh, it's the little things that I think are, again, he worked out with us, but it was his attitude in the gym. It was him putting stuff away. It was the, it was the little stuff. And I think a lot of traits I see are what Mona kind of teaches.
Yeah, I think that if you just wait and wait and wait, all those little things, they're going to add up. Like if something breaks in the house, it could be a light bulb, a door, a knob, or whatever. If you don't fix it, eventually you're going to have 100 things that you have to fix, and the house is falling apart.
Yes,
So,
you are after my heart. I am that person too. Something is broken. It's like, this needs to be done.
oh,
right?
immediately,
No,
immediately. I am not waiting.
I am
Yeah.
that way too.
Yeah. No, it's like if I cook something, it could be, 15 meal course. Every pot is clean after every cooked meal. Like I don't have a full sink of dishes and I go lay on the couch. I never go to sleep. Do I go to
No.
sleep? Never go to sleep. My house is sparkling clean because when I wake up for my coffee, I just press the button. Everything is clean. I just want to have my coffee. So
Me too.
you,
I love you.
yeah, you
I
feel
am
so
that
much
way.
better. I like to schedule tomorrow and the week. So I feel so much better when my day is scheduled tomorrow. Like I don't have to get up. I know what I'm wearing. I know what I'm doing in the morning. I have everything boom, 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 not only for me, but I also have it for him. so he's set, Yeah. And I'm just taking care of the morning. That way we could get up and have a good vibe, good energy, and not go crazy and start looking for everything. So I like to be very, that's me.
Yes, I 100% agree with you because I'm the same way. Dishes have to be done in the washer, wherever. I need to wake up and have everything completely done, make my bed, get ready, have my coffee, have my coffee, get ready, and go and be ready
Yeah.
for the day. I'm just like you. And I think that when Mike, we were talking about discipline and having that, I think that's part of the whole discipline of being a bodybuilder, doing whatever it is you want to accomplish in life, just having that plan and executing it and just doing, doing everything that you need to do. Instead of just saying, I'm going to go to bed, I'll deal with that.
No,
tomorrow.
I don't put anything
I'm
off.
gonna work out.
I never put anything off.
What would you guys recommend then? Because one child, 6 children. There's definitely a difference there. So, and I've seen some incredible discussions about destruction, I guess you would say. A father was playing in his yard with his boys, and they were tearing up the grass. And the gentleman that was giving the father of this was a football player. And his wife comes out and goes, hey, go somewhere else. You guys are killing the grass. And the father says, we're raising boys, not grass. And I love that for, you have 6 kids. Is there some reality there that I absolutely love that, because our house, our I guess you would say living room is completely matted.
What living room?
Yes, it's complete. It's a wrestling room, so he can jump off. We can roll. We can at any time go at each other. And I have it set up that way because I kind of like that aspect of you want to be able to get a little messy at times and tussle. And so, I mean, 6 kids, how was that in raising?
It's tricky because, like you said, it's the building blocks of character is how I look at it. When you were saying, hey, after we're done with the gym, we clean up as we go. We put the plates away after dinner. We do all this stuff. We set those standards kind of high. Then, this is where it gets tricky. I, too, allow my kids to have pillow fights. We have 3 boys that are living in the house now. The other 3 have grown up. One's a professional ballet dancer, boy, amazing. And then the 2 girls are grown up doing their own thing in school and whatever. But so we have our 3 boys, and they do take off our couch and they jump and they do all these things. And so this is where I find it's tricky, because I have to sit back and I hear my husband say, "Let them, they're boys." And then at the same time, I'm trying to teach them, well, they can't go to someone else's house and jump on their furniture. I don't want my kids to be out of control at church or wherever, school, they're in private school or whatever it is. So it's finding the balance and creating. I want them to have that boy, that fun, that let them destroy their grass. It's funny that you said that. Literally, from Vancouver Open, Wade and Rebecca gave my kids swords. So they're taking the covers off and throwing up in the air and seeing if they can land in the grass. Putting holes all over our grass. And I told Jason, my husband, like, they're going to destroy our grass. He's like, they're irrigating or whatever.
Yeah.
Is that the right word?
Yeah, it is actually.
Okay. And so I let him. So it's finding the balance of that for me, and when is an appropriate time of kind of teaching them when they can and when they can't. Because you're right, let them live, let them be boys, let them do those things. But I'm still trying to figure it out, because I think I was a little strict with the other 3, where I'm like, no, playroom is upstairs, you can't destroy downstairs. But you know what? They didn't get to live. They didn't get to have that. And I want these kids to really be able to be free in our house and have a safe home where they feel like they can, be kids. So
Can we stay on one more thing? Because I keep hearing this over and over, especially in today's world, is that the reason someone is not in shape anymore is because they had a child. And so I'm confused right now. You're in amazing shape, but you're also 26, right? And so, yeah, 6 kids real fast. How are you in shape? How are you in shape? How have this, and what is that? What is it that?
And she's an IFBB bikini pro. She just competed last year over in the Emerald Cup too. She has 6 kids. Make sure you tell them how old you are.
So this,
And then
you're at the tip of the spear. You're an IFBB pro, and you have 6 kids. It's just the level that you're at. What can you teach these people out there? Because I think my fans need to hear this. The guys, especially the guys, because the mothers are really taking care of the kids, mostly the early years. And so the guys should have no excuse. So
I will just say this. It was so important to me that I took the kids to the gym with me. And I didn't spend all day. It wasn't like I was just fixated on me. I went to the gym and I got it done, because I knew that at the end of the day, like, I needed to be healthy for my kids. I was dedicated. It was my passion. But if I go to the root of it, when we originally talked about, what did we talk about? It was a choice or something. I grew up very poor. I grew up with parents that were very unhealthy. It wasn't like I just got lucky and I just have the best genetics and I'm just so, no. I actually don't work for it, because my mom died of alcoholism, my dad died of drugs. I literally grew up that way. So at a young age, I decided I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be like my mom or my dad or all these people. I am going to choose a different way of life. And so that's truly what I have done. I do have 5 other siblings that didn't choose this lifestyle. And we're totally different.
Well, I think that's why you're so strong, because when you have that childhood, it either breaks you or makes you.
Yeah.
So I feel like, you wanted to be better. You didn't want to follow that path. You knew that was wrong. You wanted to thrive and to be the best mom that you could be, right? For your kids, you don't want them to experience that. So you just became so much stronger, and that's when you mentally strong, that you could do whatever you want. That's what I look at.
Yeah, and you change the course of your children's life, right? So for me, I know what I went through, and I wasn't going to let my kids by the grace of God, let that kids go through that. And so I had one opportunity in here to do the best that I can. And so I failed, believe me, I've done things, whatever, but in general, I've changed the course of my own life and my kids.
I got to stop one for a second. Okay. And so you as parents, and I know she came from a communist country, and her parents left her when she was 11. So she had to raise herself. Now, that's crazy. I'm an American-born kid. Mom and dad were there the whole time, roof over the head. How, again, the give and take, how do you raise them? And I don't want to say old school, but the paper route taught me a lot, being, and we could ride our bikes, as young as can be in streets and go places with no worries. And that's not in today's world. So how do you give them some hardships so they're not catered and they're mentally strong? What are some things that you think that, and you can put onto, I want to hear this because for me, myself, martial arts, I think, is a big thing, but I want more things. I want more things coming at different angles.
Yeah. I make our kids, or my husband and I make the kids work for things, and we don't just give them what, like, I feel like a lot of our friends, I shouldn't say that because I don't want to put that on. I just make our kids work for things, and we teach them, we give them opportunities to earn, and they don't always get what they want. We just don't serve them that way. We're kind of old school. When you say that, I kind of want to say we're old school. We don't just hand them their phones and hand them those things. We literally, they pay us. They work for it. We teach them those building blocks that we talked about. I think that's really important.
Yeah.
What do you think, Elaine?
I think the working for it is extremely important. When Brandon, I'm going to fast forward just a touch to high school, is when he got into high school, because sports do overtake everything. But we had put him in a lot of different sports, and so if there was a sport when he got to high school that he didn't want to do, he had to work. So he had a job. So there was, if you're not doing a sport, you will be doing a job. And if he wasn't playing summer baseball, he was working for the summer.
So you had him set up football, either basketball or wrestling. I guess it would be then followed by track and field or baseball. And then summer would be baseball.
Exactly. And so if he chose not to play a sport, because as he continued on, there were some sports that he did like and some he didn't. And I'm going to flip flop on a few things, because I had one child like you have one child, Brandon. I just had Brandon. And people will say to you, oh, well, with one, they're just going to be super spoiled.
Yeah.
I think I don't think that they are spoiled. I think that they get some opportunities that a lot of children may, if you have a lot of children, that they may not, they'll have a little bit more opportunities, but they still get the discipline. I mean, you choose whether you're spoiling your child or not. You get that choice. So I really feel that we aren't raising spoiled children because we're there. As long as you are there, you're involved, involved in their raising. You're not letting him, we're going to the gym and you get to stay home alone, right? You are there, you're involved. They are doing everything with you. You're raising them. They aren't spoiled. I don't think that Brandon was spoiled at all. I think he became a very responsible adult. Now, granted, we don't have any authority over them once they become an adult. But on the flip side, it's like, well, I raised you. I gave you these opportunities. It is now up to you to use them and make your own choices. That is that. And one more thing I wanted to add on to that, because you are a dog person, your dogs are trained, you know dog training, you know all of that. Brandon used to say to me, you were talking to me like you're talking to the dog. Because when it got to a point, I never went, okay, 1, 2, 3. If I said to him, this needs to be done and it needs to be done right now, I expected it to be done right now. And what I would do is if he did not do it, I would give him the dog commands. You know, all the commands that you do with the dog, because they are precise, you do it, and you don't argue with me. Do you know what I'm saying?
I do. I 100% do.
You love your dog, and you love your kids. So,
I could just hear the parents. I can hear the parents out there right now going, "Oh, you don't do that. You don't do." And it's like I'm 100%. I have 3 dogs, and I'll spoil their asses. 100%. I will not spoil my son because those are 2 different things. And I fully understand us saying we have parents that do spoil their kids, and I understand that. I 100% understand. I would love to give him a cookie every day, whatever he wants to eat. You want to eat spaghetti for breakfast? Great. I would love to be that parent, but I also know the world I grew up in was tough, but it wasn't so hard for me. And I think that's because of how I was raised, having a dad that was a school teacher and a bodybuilder, and my mom was a martial artist and raised 10 kids.
yes.
So if there's a way I can show him, and I think the world is crazier now, much more crazy now, and have him have this kind of mental strength, you know, that's the parent I'm going to be. I understand that may not sound great to some people. I want to be his best friend. I want to be this. And it's like, I would love to be that, but I also need a son that's, you know, safe and can go out there and make a living and
You don't have time
live.
You don't have time to be his best friend. When you raise that quality kind of man that you want, he's going to be your best friend,
Yes.
right? So I think most importantly, it is coming beside them and guiding them and teaching them everything you want in them so that they can grow up to be those people. So yeah, they will be your best friend. But what happens when you try to be their best friend when they're younger? I'm telling you right now, because I know I kind of made some mistakes in my first go around the olders, and there's a lot that I wish I could go back. It taught me though. It's taught me a lot. It's more important to come beside them and guide them and teach them and tell them why and have those high expectations. In love, in grace, you know, all of that too. But don't just let them get away with stuff. Don't try to be cool with them. Cool in a certain way, like we dance, we have fun, you know. But yeah, that's
But you're
just
still the disciplinarian.
no
It ultimately comes down to you are the disciplinarian, just like you are with your dogs too. You spoil them. It would be like you're playing outside in the grass with your dogs, and then all of a sudden one of them decides to go running out of the street. You're going to give them a command to stop, to sit, stay, lay down, whatever it is that you're going to give them that command. And why are you giving that command to them? Because you know that there's a car right down the street coming to hit them. And so that's the way it is with our children too. We know that there are so many things, and I'm using a car as a metaphor, so many cars that are coming to hit them. And so we have to be there to help them learn to avoid that. But when they're kids, we're responsible for them. We're responsible for their well-being. And hence commands. If I would say to Brandon,
Great analogy.
something, and then I would, the leave it command. I'd say, Brandon, don't do that. And if he was, look at me like I'm gonna do this anyway. I saw a lot of myself in him.
yeah.
And he would, and then I would just go, leave it, just like I would with the dog, right? And then he would stop and he would leave it. He knew once that command, if any commands were given like that, he knew, and that's saving them from the car that's coming down the street.
You just took me back. Because I know you have that fire, and to be one of the greatest in your era, and looking like you did on stage, Elaine. I love the you can get to the zone. You can turn it on, and I see the fire. I see that, and I love that. I love that. it's
But
just
you use that as a parent too.
Yeah.
Take what you do in the gym, take what you do in anything that you're successful at, and take that into your parenting too, but while loving them. Brad and I took a parenting class. We had Brandon. We took a parenting class. We knew that we didn't have. There were some things between the two of us that we knew we needed to have skills, and so we took parenting classes. There's classes out there, just like you would with bodybuilding. People hire you to train them, and Carrie too for posing and training. So people hire you guys because you have the experience, you have the knowledge, you can teach them, you can give them the tools, you give them what they need to take to the stage, take into life, doing all of that. I feel that that bodybuilding trainers, you guys are giving them your life coaches too. You're teaching them how to succeed in life, because getting in the gym, working out, and then getting up on stage, that is learning how to succeed in life too. Overcoming things that you say, if you think to yourself, think about something that you've overcome in life and where you thought, oh, I could never do that, but then you do it. It's just like the stage. Oh, I could never get up on stage. Well, all of us, the four of us, probably were like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get on stage. But there are other things in our life where we've said, oh, I don't think I could do that. But we went ahead and tried it, and we did it anyway. And everything that we try and put ourselves out there, we learn. Carrie and I, from our Instagram Live, we didn't know how to do this. And we've worked out our show now.
There you go.
so
Oh, go ahead.
go. Well, I want to make sure that we don't lose one important thing, and that is we're all going to be up in Washington here in a couple of weeks. Can you tell us a little bit about what's going on?
Oh, you're going to be at the Emerald Cup, and we are so excited that you're going to be there. The Emerald Cup is, we call it the Jewel of the Northwest. It is the largest bodybuilding show in the Northwest. In its prime, it was the largest, pretty much in the
In the
United
nation,
States.
right?
Yeah.
In world?
Yeah, back in its prime, the world,
Yeah.
now the world has come up to bodybuilding. There's, all over the world now, so it's a lot different. But in its prime, that it was, and it still has just the whole feel of the boost. We used to call it the mini Olympia,
Right.
because you'd have all of these stars that would come in, and we have you coming in, the star coming into the Emerald Cup. And now, Brad and I don't run the Emerald Cup anymore. That is Rivet Productions, Ivan and Aaron. But Brad and I are, they can drop us off at the corner. We'll find our way back. We'll be there.
And
We'll be there no
Excited
matter
to
what.
be there.
And you're also going to be in Idaho for the Idaho Muscle Classic too. And that is May 31st. So I'm excited because Boise has just grown. So you're down in Boise, Idaho, because there's North and South Idaho, just like there's East and West in Washington. Emerald Cup is
There's an East in Washington?
Seattle. Pardon me?
there's an East in Washington?
Yeah. I know. Who knew, right?
You gotta go.
Actually, I'm gonna be there this weekend. I'm gonna be in Eastern Washington in Spokane, because the Empire Classic is going on.
My first show was in Tri-Cities.
Yes, Andre's show. Andre Galloway.
Yes.
Remember.
And
Speaking of which, go ahead, because I have something to tell you too. Go.
get me in touch with Andre Galloway.
Okay.
I would love to have him on because that's somebody I grew up with, him and Mike Bridges and those guys. And so
I just ran into somebody who just ran into him. So I will get you in touch.
okay.
But I also want to tell you, I ran into Montana last week. Do you remember Troy Bertelson?
Yes.
Yes, I ran into Troy
Wow.
Bertelson, who, for everybody, was a bodybuilder back in the 80s. I have something really good to tell you, too. He was a great bodybuilder in the 80s, and he and his wife, Peggy, they're now divorced, and he's remarried, and I understand that she is, but I'm not positive, so I don't want to put that out there. But Troy is remarried, has 6 kids, and he is doing. And he was friends with Steve Reeves. I don't know if you knew this, but he was really good friends with Steve Reeves. And apparently, they are doing a movie on Steve Reeves' life. And so I wanted to tell you about that because I was telling him that I talked to you, and your movie has just come out. And so he wanted to get in touch with you too.
Get him in touch with me.
In touch with Andre and with Troy, because that would be, I think that'd just be awesome. But also tell everybody, I know I'm like talking a lot.
It's okay.
We're getting down to the last 10 minutes, and you have no idea the whole list that I have right here of all the things I wanted to ask you. I wanted to ask Titan. I wanted to ask Mona. And I knew, I'm like, oh yeah, no, I've got all these things, and I'm like, I literally got 2 things. I know, I've got 2 things. So I want to. So I'm going to recap something, and then I want you to talk about your movie. I'm recapping that Mike will be at the Emerald Cup. That is May 1st and 2nd
Right.
at the Emerald Cup. Wait, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Pro, amateur, pro, IFBB Pro, NPC, and NPC Natural, and there's an IFBB Natural too that is going on at the Emerald Cup. So a lot of things, booths, everything. Mike will be there. We're excited for you to be there. And then Idaho Muscle Classic, May 31st at Boise, Idaho. It's actually Garden City, but it's all encompassed. Boise Land is what we call it. And it also has the Wheelchair Nationals. And I'm really excited about that. We started that last year, Wheelchair Nationals. So Wheelchair Nationals and Idaho Muscle Classic combined. Mike will be there. You guys, like I said, I have this whole list of things, and I've gone through basically 3 things. That was it. So if you have questions for him and you want to talk to him personally, you definitely want to come to the show because he's like the nicest guy you'll ever meet. Like I love both of you. And Mona, you'll be there too.
I was just gonna ask.
Yes.
And then Mona, everybody, the family will be
The
there.
whole family will be there. So okay, so that's my recap there. I do. Mona, we're gonna have to just get you on yourself. too.
Yes. Yes.
It's a much better show with her.
I know. Let's get her on another time, and we're gonna ask all about her
We
childhood.
really will. Because I really
I'm
wanna-
looking. Yeah, we are. So I'm telling you this right now. I'm telling you this right now.
Yeah, I will anytime.
We're keeping you on something, 'cause, yeah, I want to talk about your childhood and
Yeah.
everything. But I'm the keeper of time, and I'm seeing the time is we're.
I do want to say one thing before we.
I want you to talk about your movie, Magazine Dreams.
Well, before I do that, real quick, I just want to say, just thinking back to my childhood and competing, for anybody out there that's thinking about competing and wanting to win, I don't know how I got so lucky, but I did grow up in a place that was the top tier of bodybuilding. Washington State, the years I grew up, the lifting, the competitors against the best of the best, just in that. And you always, you always compete in your small town, then you move up to the city, and then the state, and then you go the nation, and then you go to the world. And I love the fact that I grew up in Washington State at the most pinnacle time of bodybuilding, with some of the greatest, Joe Dawson and so on, and Baby Hulk Mike Harris. And to grow up with those guys and training with those guys and being around the greatest at such a young age set me up to win in life. And if you're out there and you want to compete, find that gym that has the good competitors, the people that are serious about this, the odd cats, the crazies, as we would say. And don't think about winning the show. Think about going against the very best and doing your best against them. That pays dividends that you don't comprehend right now, but you will in life. And as for my movie, before I jump off here, I want to say thank you for the support from everybody. Go watch it, and then understand that health and fitness for a mentally strong person, or someone that needs that therapy and uses weightlifting for therapy, can set you up to win. Like anything in life, any sport, it can also destroy you, and it can take you down the wrong road. The movie is about, and I love, and I'm not going to give the movie away, but I love the fact that the roller coaster of the movie is summed up at the end on my belief on how fitness should be ran, and how you as an individual doing football, doing any kind of martial arts, or doing anything in life should get to the end of this movie and watch that moment of the clarity. It's a beautiful thing. And I understand that this movie is a very heavy set movie. And I know that, you got both sides going, oh, they painted it in a bad, negative light. In no world, anything, you could show the darkness of wrestling at the pinnacle of wrestling is a dark, but again, if you can make it through, keep mentally strong. And like we said, this whole conversation, I know we talked about my son and your kids, but we're talking about anybody, really. It's metaphor for anybody that health and fitness is mind strong.
I love it. I love it.
And
What I would like you both to leave us with is Mona is a fantastic bodybuilder in her own right too. We're gonna talk to you about what it's like being married to a star. I have a whole list of questions.
I can tell you what it's like. She is the star.
I am the star in this house.
What I'd like to leave us with on YouTube is how motherhood and fatherhood have changed your life. Like, do you want to?
We're going to save that for next time.
Yeah.
Do you want to
Well,
say that?
Yeah, we're gonna,
All
but
right,
just
so well, that'll be good.
It's a great question, though.
Because it's one of the best things I've ever experienced too. So I wanted to leave you with that. But
There's so many facets to that, though.
it's just the
There's
answer
so
is
many,
the
because
answer is too long. That's why we'll leave it
Yeah.
for next time.
so I didn't know what you said.
I said the answer is too long to that. Yeah, that's why we're gonna leave it for next time. We have so much to add to it.
So we just both would like to thank you both for coming on here, and I love it because you both are so real. A lot of times we see people, oh, they're stars, they're not going to talk. We aren't going to be able to get to know them. Mike's got a huge following on Instagram. Baby, don't hurt me.
Oh.
I'm a bunch of knows a lot of people have been saying, baby, don't hurt me. It's on
Yeah.
there. So you can hashtag baby don't hurt me or at baby don't hurt me. You see, Mike's got a whole thing going on there, a whole campaign.
How do you reconcile?
So, and you've got clothing, you've got all different things that people can purchase just from your site. Do you want to say what your site is where they can go to?
Just
Just the name.
find out Mike O'Hearn. Anywhere, Mike O'Hearn. And
Okay.
yeah, you'll find anything and everything.
You train people, you have competition, training, and the one thing that I'll tie in the baby don't hurt me and Mike O'Hearn training is he trains smart. He is not going to hurt you. Here is somebody who has been training since, go ahead, how young? I knew you at 16. but-
Yeah, I started at 9 and my first show was at 14.
It was
Okay, so you started working out at 9. You are how old? Tell everyone now. If you want to or no.
I'm 56.
Yes, okay. 56. You have been training all this time and you are still training heavy but training smart. So you're not overtraining, you're not training too heavy, you're training smart. And I have followed you for years, so I know what you do. So anyone who is looking for a good trainer and you are just not sure where to start, what to do, Mike is the guy. I just see your body, we get one body, it's got to last us probably for 100 years now. And
exactly.
if you're eating healthy, you're working out, you're doing everything healthy, it's going to last you for 100 years, and you want to be able to have quality of life with that quantity. All right.
You guys are awesome.
We're going to say goodbye to you because our time's up.
Thank you.
guys so much for coming on. We love you. Thank you, Titan. If you're
Titan.
Oh, he's
Titan.
running around.
Where's Titan?
Oh,
He's out. He's in the gym
I'm
again.
done. I'm done.
Okay.
You
We'll
guys
see you
rock.
soon.
Thank you so much. And we'll
Thank
talk
you,
to you
guys.
later.
Bye.
They're awesome.
Yeah, I love them.
Awesome. Awesome.
Such a good human.
Hi guys. You kill
We
that light.
got 15 minutes. to
Okay.
tell everybody.
More drop the overhead. What's up, everybody? Wonder if we got some good questions on here.
They've been waiting.
Thanks for hanging, guys.
They've been waiting for you.
Send that email to me. That's gonna be on in 15 minutes.
Okay.
We got 15 minutes.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for hanging. So who we were talking to was Elaine Craig, who was the biggest promoter in the Northwest. Ran the Emerald Cup, which is a great show that I grew up with. I was thinking about that too, as she was saying stuff about Andrew Galloway and Joe Dawson and Baby Hulk Mike Harris and all these people. As I did grow up, and when I competed at the Emerald Cup as a super heavy and stuff, there were guys like Stan Efferden in my class, Skip LaCour, just a plethora of names through that whole thing. Jeffrey, you see a banger here?
So Kieran, I've been training for about 13 years now, and it feels like I'm at the point where I've hit my body limit of muscle. I know I probably haven't, but it's starting to feel that way. He follows up, I eat well, take creatine and whey protein. What other supplements would you say are a must?
Oh, I would just, if you're feeling that you're plateaued, because you contradicted yourself, you feel like you've reached your pinnacle. So now, at the same time, you said, well, but maybe I haven't. I don't think you have. I don't know your age, but I would raise the protein intake and your food intake. That's what I would focus on. Make sure those calories are getting up there and you're doing something there with the calories. And then again, it's you got that off season, right? And then when you feel your body has plateaued, is maybe what you're feeling, is then I would slice and dice and see how lean you can get, how much muscle you retain, how much strength that you retain during that time. I did retin-A last night, so I don't know how much of the red you can get off my face. Yeah, it's going to be just that face.
Was also the sun.
The sun's coming.
So you turn 60.
Great question, though. Here's a tough one, though, for anybody. You're your worst judge.
Ooh.
You are the absolute worst person to talk to yourself when you are questioning your potential, your strength levels, and so on. That's why you get a training partners or some real people around
Why
you.
are you your worst? Is it? Yeah. Why can't you? Yeah. What?
Nobody sees themselves clearly.
Wow.
Yeah, especially in the health and fitness world. And this is, you're the one guy, right? There's somebody out there going, I can see myself. I'm 100%. So I don't need somebody to tell me what I look like.
Exactly.
Okay, great. Do this. Take some pictures of you today. Simple process. Take pictures of what you look like today. Put them away. And then look at them in 3 months. Keep your idea, write it down in a book, right? Hey, today I took some photos. I looked awesome. Absolutely fantastic. Or I could lose a little bit. I can get a little bit rounder. I look a little flat, whatever that is. Put it in the book with the photos. Put it away for 3 months and then go pull that thing out and look again. And if you think the same, congratulations. You'll be the first person in history to feel the same way looking back, compared to every other individual will look back and go, oh, I didn't see myself that way. And whatever that way was. It's an amazing, amazing trick that I learned early on in my career. And so it works both ways. You look at yourself and you're like, God damn, I look like shit. and I'm going to get ready to compete here in a week, and I don't look good, and I don't this, and this. Now I need to go harder. I need to diet even more. I got to push it. Maybe 3 hours of cardio. I don't know. And then you go back 3 months later or a year later, and you see those photos and go, oh shit, I need to do the opposite. I was flat. I should have filled out. I should have pulled back on the training. I should have relaxed a lot. Maybe even the aggressiveness of my mindset at that time was too much, and maybe that was even releasing more cortisol compared to I should be more happy in that position. Look at that was good. I just need to fill out and work less. You'll find those things. It's the most amazing mind trip you will ever go on. Clip that, post that. That's a great one for anybody out there, regardless if you're getting on stage, you're getting married, class reunion. Try that little mind trick. And on that, I'll be back here in 10 minutes. All right, boys and girls? Let's end this, but let's keep these questions up here for me. Thanks, guys.